As a DoorDash driver, you're going to notice that you have ratings on your account, and some of you, especially new drivers, are going to wonder, what are these ratings for? Can I control some of them? Do some of them matter? Do I need to pay attention to some? Let's talk about it right now. You'll notice that there are 4 different categories on your ratings within your DoorDash app. The first category is going to be customer rating. The second category is going to be completion rating. Your third category is going to be acceptance rating. And your fourth category is your on-time or early arrival. Let's go through each category right now so you have a better understanding of what to do to control these, how they work with the DoorDash app, and that way you can remain in the right category to stay on the DoorDash platform. Customer rating is taken off the last 100 deliveries that you have completed for the DoorDash platform. And this rating is categorized from a 1 to a 5-star system that the customers can rate you each time you do a delivery. So if you have ratings in the 1, 2, 3, 4 range, you're going to see your customer rating drop below 5 stars on the overall picture. But that's not to be worried about if you remain above a 4.2 customer rating overall in the last 100 orders. So 4.2 is a really low customer rating, and I have been delivering for DoorDash for 5 years now. I have never dropped below 4.8 in my entire career as a DoorDash driver. So if you are continuing to receive 1 and 2 star ratings, you might consider some of the things that you're doing and working on getting better at some of those things. I think it would be very difficult to receive a 4.2 star rating overall on your customer rating unless you're just literally taking food, taking drinks, ruining dishes, providing horrible customer service. If you're ringing doorbells, if they say not to because they have a baby sleeping, you're being rude at the door. Those kind of things might land you in that below 4.2 range. But if you're just a normal, hardworking, customer service oriented person, I cannot believe you would ever drop below 4.2 on the customer rating. If you start to plummet and you see your rating going down, then maybe you just need to slow down, figure out what things you could fix better. Also understand there are just going to be some customers that are unpleasant and want everything to be perfect. And they may rate you a 3 or a 4 star, and it will lower your score. Hopefully, those low ratings can be dropped off of your account, and other people who you've provided good service to will rate you 5 stars. And once that person's 3 or 4 star rating drops off of the last 100 orders, then your rating will raise back up and you'll be in better contention. You won't feel like you're doing something wrong or you made a mistake or anything like that. So just focus in on the overall last 100 orders, how many of those you've provided as good service. Be positive about your customer rating. Don't dwell on it, and you will be able to remain on the DoorDash platform as long as you stay above a 4.2 on the customer rating. Our second category is going to be completion rate. And I want everyone to listen to this very carefully. Completion rate is very important to you remaining on the DoorDash platform. If you drop below 90% on your completion rate, you can and will be kicked off the DoorDash platform. One more time, you must remain above 90% to remain on the DoorDash platform. Now, how is this calculated? Again, it goes back to the last 100 deliveries that you have actually done for DoorDash or accepted for DoorDash. So if you accept an order and you complete the order, then that's a completed order, and that helps your completion rate in the last 100 orders. But if you're a driver who accepts an order and then decides you don't want that order for whatever reason, and you decline the order or you quote unquote drop the order, then that is a non-completed order, and that is an X on your completion rate. That's going to drop your completion rate down 1%. So if you're a driver who is a multi-apper and you are running DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and you select an order that you really were a little worried about doing in the first place, and then a better Grubhub comes along and you go for the Grubhub and you drop the DoorDash, again, that's a red X. That's gonna affect your completion rate. You're gonna drop another percentage point. This is also something that if you start to get towards that 90%, that you need to be very cautious about what you're doing now when you accept orders, because you will not be able to drop those orders or you'll be removed from the DoorDash platform. I suggest you make sure you have a threshold that you're willing to take certain orders, and you keep to that threshold, so that way when you accept those orders, you do not just decide to drop them over and over and over, and you keep yourself away from the 90% number on the completion rate. Let's move on to the third category. The third category is going to be your acceptance rate. And this category is the most highly conversated about category on the DoorDash platform. It's the category that DoorDash is constantly trying to make changes to their platform and lure people in to continue to take orders and keep their acceptance rates high. That's why you have the new tiered system to keep your acceptance rate, above 70, 80%. That way you can get better paying orders, and you feel like you're tied into doing that. But what they're not telling you is the only reason that they want you to take those orders is because no one in their right mind would be completing those orders, because they're not making drivers any money. So as a driver, the best thing to do when you look at your acceptance rating is to basically ignore it. Ignore it unless you have to keep up with one of their tiered programs, and you want to do that because your market seems to be operating for you better, what they call a tiered driver, platinum status driver anymore. If that's your market, go for it. Be on the tiered system, be a platinum driver so you can dash now, if that's even still available in your market. But if it's not, and you live in a major city and you see that your zones are red all the time and you can dash now, or there's a lot of availability to schedule when you want to go out and do delivery, completely ignore your acceptance rate. And here's why. You are an independent contractor. You choose what orders you want to take. You earn your money for yourself, not for DoorDash. They're paying you pennies to deliver these orders. And what I mean by that is $2 per customer. And if you pick up a double order, sometimes they're still paying you the $2, sometimes less. They're actually taking money back from you as they add on more work to you. So all these things become a realization when you're a DoorDash driver and you've done this for long enough. You've started to pay for car repairs. You've started to put more gas in your car. You've started to see bad orders like $3 for 8 miles. And you think to yourself, why am I taking this? Does DoorDash really want me to do this? Well, what you could think is, I don't need to do this. I don't need the stress of looking at my acceptance rate. All I need to do is set my threshold of what I'm willing to take and how much money I want to make each time I'm out on a shift, and operate your business independently from what they're trying to get you to do. So don't pay attention to your acceptance rate unless you live in a market that a platinum status, dash now availability is beneficial to you. That could be a smaller market where the dash isn't available very often. But if you live in a large city, ignore it. You do not need to keep up with any numbers on this, because you're categorized as an independent contractor and you will not be kicked off the app. I have kept my acceptance rating for years below 20%, and that's right where I need to keep it to maintain a good earnings and a good living out here doing DoorDash. So our final category is the on-time/late category. I have again done this for 5 years. I've never paid much attention to this, and I'm pretty positive that it doesn't even affect your availability to use the DoorDash platform. So I think it's one where you can disregard the information, but I'm gonna go through it from the DoorDash app so you all understand what this category actually does. Your on-time early rate is a percentage based on the number of orders you have completed by the estimated delivery time or 5 minutes past. While there is currently no minimum requirement for an on-time early rate, Dashers are responsible for making sure that deliveries they choose to accept are completed on time. In agreeing to independent contractor agreement, Dashers agree to complete delivery orders to consumers in a safe and timely fashion. Therefore, regardless of their overall on-time and early rate, Dashers who arrive at the merchant or customer significantly after estimated pickup or drop-off times will be eligible for deactivation of their account for violating the terms. Therefore, your on-time early rate isn't necessarily going to get you deactivated, but one important thing to note is that if you are over 10 minutes late to the merchant or 10 minutes late to the customer drop-off, that will give you a red flag on your account or a strike, and you cannot have more than 3 strikes on your account. If you allow this to happen and there is a strike on your account, it will take 100 completed orders for that strike to fall off of your account before you're back to a good status with DoorDash. Sometimes things happen, we make mistakes, we get strikes on our accounts. I've had several of them. I just make sure that I'm doing things right the next go around for the next 100 orders, and I don't get myself in a big situation that I cannot handle the orders that I've taken. And this will keep you out of that hot water situation. But on the on time and early rating on your customer rating section, there is no minimum requirement necessarily yet. But what they aren't saying here is how if you are late to the merchant, again, 10 plus minutes or 10 plus minutes to the customer, that you will get a strike against you, and you cannot have any more than 3 strikes against you, or you will be removed from the DoorDash platform. There's the complete list of the 4 categories when it comes to your ratings on your DoorDash app. I hope this video was helpful. If you enjoyed it, click subscribe and like, and maybe hit the bell if you want to see my future videos. I don't always do DoorDash videos. I do a lot of Spark videos and some other random videos with apps that I utilize. I'd like to see you all involved. Take care.